Plaintiff Megan Smith is engaged to the defendant's son, and she claims the defendant does not like her. Megan claims after a disagreement with the defendant, she filed a bogus restraining order against Megan, and Megan's suing her today for unreturned property. Defendant Kimberly Anders says she has custody of her son's children because he was a heroin addict, and she begged him not to date Megan because she too abuses heroin. Kimberly is countersuing Megan for harassment.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
I know Kimberly Anders because she's my fiancé, Johnny, his mother. Me and Johnny have known each other since we were 14. Just recently, in May of 2018, we started dating again. During that time, I got to know Kim a little bit better because I was over at her house regularly. Johnny's got kids, I have kids. I bring the kids over, we all play together. And then once things started getting serious between me and Johnny, then all of a sudden she flipped and decided it wasn't okay for me.
Why do you think that is?
That I wasn't really sure why. I didn't really.
Did you ask him, your fiance?
He said
why
that
your mother doesn't like me?
I asked him, he said it's actually typical of her to do that in all of his past relationships. That's not true. She starts liking them at first while they're dating, but as soon as they turn and start having a serious relationship, then all of a sudden it's a problem.
Got it.
That's what happened to me.
Okay.
On Christmas of this past year, we wanted to get the kids together and do Christmas together like a normal couple would, but we weren't able to do that because of Kimberly Anders didn't want me over at the house. So we waited till all the kids went to bed, and I picked Johnny up, and we had to go exchange gifts in the parking lot down the street.
Come on.
Yeah, I know. We had to exchange gifts.
I don't believe that.
We really did. Honest to God, we had to exchange gifts in a parking lot in the car.
Does she stay up all night? I don't think so.
No, that's why it was supposed to be.
You don't party all night, do you? You do party all night?
No.
All right, all right.
I should join the crowd, right?
We waited
but my point is, you could have waited till she went to bed.
We did. We waited till about midnight.
Then why'd you have to go in the parking lot? Go ahead.
Why? Because I couldn't come in the house. They have a very.
She sleep. Go in that house.
They have a very small trailer that is.
Go ahead. All right.
You can hear all the way through it.
Okay.
So
she would have known.
That wasn't
even
happening.
in her. All right. She would have woke up and saw you. Go ahead.
So we went to a parking lot, exchanged gifts, and when I came back, she came running out like a maniac, pounding on my passenger side door. Johnny rolled down the window. She like lunged in my car, putting her finger in my face.
Saying what?
All types of profanities and screaming that Johnny.
About what?
Johnny abandoned his kids, and that while the kids were sleeping, he abandoned them. I know. And that I'm ridiculous, and that I need to stay away. And so Johnny got her out of the car, and he opened the door, and he went inside, and I left. The next morning, I come to find out she went and filed a restraining order against me.
Saying you did what? Saying that you did what?
Saying that I tried to run her over with my car. And
did
that,
you?
No. She was in my car. It was kind of hard for her to.
How did she get in?
I wasn't inside.
He rolled down the window, and she lunged. She had her whole body up to her waist in my car with her finger in my face.
Okay, ma'am, what do you say to this?
Your Honor, I had my oldest son passed away. John is my youngest son and a twin at that. I have custody of his 4 little children, 2, 6, 7, and 8-year-old, all due to heroin. All due to heroin. John got out of prison for the 3rd time.
When was that? That he got out the 3rd time?
The last time he got out of prison, well, not the last time, the time before the last time was last year. Thought I was going to see a little bit of light at the end of the table for my grandchildren because
was it before they became close?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Was it before May of 18 or after May of 18?
Before. And then my nightmare began again. I felt like I was reliving the heroin situation. John got with Megan. I begged him not to. It was time for him and
Why?
Because of the heroin, and she also drank a lot.
You believed she was on heroin?
I know for a fact she
How?
was on. Because she was at my home.
I know. Did she do it in front of you?
In the car, at the end of the driveway.
You saw her?
And her doing drugs.
That's a lie,
saw
Your
her?
Honor.
That's not a lie. Yes.
Or
both
you saw
of them.
evidence of it? I mean, evidence of it is also...
In the car, needles.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
It's not a lie. Anyways,
You've never
what
had
happened
needles
was-
around? Where?
Not in my car.
In her car. Oh, I'm
Anybody's
sorry.
car.
No, I did not have needles. No, Your Honor.
You've never been around needles in folks' cars?
Not in my car. No, Your Honor.
Okay, you keep evading the answer, so that makes me think it's true. Your only response is, not my car, not my car. The car next to me, maybe. His car, maybe. Or the night we used his mother's car, they probably had them needles in your car. She ain't saying whose they were in, she just said it wasn't my car.
Correct.
I don't mean to trivialize the heroin use and the addiction, because that is serious, and I'm sure it hurts you and your family, and it has. So in this instance, however, you believed, based on evidence that you saw with your own eyes, that the plaintiff was doing heroin along with your son.
Yes, 100%.
Okay. And then where did things go from there? That's kind of, you start, what?
I left.
Complaining? Go ahead.
Went to the store. Came home, my house was locked. My son was there, supposedly by himself with 2 of the grandchildren. The other 2 went with me. So I put my purse, my bags down, opened the door, walk in. My house is locked, my grandchildren locked outside because Miss Megan Smith and my son John Anders were in my bed, excuse me, having sex. I froze. But you locked, not just that, you
How
locked my...
old are the children, ma'am?
2.5, 6, 7, and 8.
You all
Selfish
telling me some
needs.
unbelievable stuff. Now, if you're telling me they were in there doing heroin to get their due because they were
Well,
about to
that's the
get
first-
sick, I might go for that. They're dope fiends, not sex fiends.
I caught
Now,
him
make
in
up
the
your
act.
mind.
The 2-year-old wasn't home. They were playing with my older
I
children.
don't believe that, man. They ain't put no 2-year-old out the house
The
to have
2-year-old was-
sex.
The 2-year-old was with me, the 6, 7, and 8.
Go ahead. All right.
I lost it. She went down the hall, went out the back door. John's like, Mom, I said, go. Don't ever come back on my premises. I cannot relive this. I almost didn't make it through your brother's tragedy.
What happened to his brother?
My oldest son I lost because of heroin, so I'm reliving it again because these 2 do drugs together. It's a nightmare, so I didn't want any drama around my grandchildren. He comes home from prison, he gets help, he goes to meetings. I'm like, maybe a little bit of light in the tunnel. He gets with her, the same thing happened. He goes to a meeting. I specifically was called by a girl saying he was in this meeting. Megan threw such a fit. He had to leave an important meeting because she was there and he talked to her. It is just...
That never
I just
happened.
want it to stop. I just cannot
Ma'am?
have the drama. I
You
just
on heroin?
can't.
Have ever been on heroin?
It is...
No?
No, Your Honor.
My son's in rehab again.
That's your son. She says she hasn't, man. She says she's never used, and I really do sympathize with you with that.
It's
struggle.
a nightmare.
Yeah, I know.
It's a nightmare.
That is a lot of pain, ma'am, and I really sympathize with you.
Thank you. It
Really
doesn't ever
sympathize
go
with you.
away.
That's sympathize with you. So, ma'am, tell me about the property you're suing her for.
So the property is an Xbox One that I purchased for Johnny to play, Johnny and the kids to play Xbox with, since we weren't allowed at Kim's house and we weren't allowed to really hang out and have everybody get together. We played on the Xbox systems. She purchased one for one of Johnny's children, and she found out that we were all playing together, and that was a problem. So then I went and purchased an Xbox One so Johnny could use it, and him and the kids and all of us could play together. My kids, me, him, his kids, all of us together. And then she said, well, you can't play that on my TV. So I went and purchased a TV monitor, a computer monitor, so he could play it on that. Then she turned into it not using my electricity. So then he had to do it either when she was at work or when she was asleep. Then we could all play together.
Go ahead.
Johnny had to turn himself in for a violation of probation.
She hasn't
and she
given
wouldn't
it
return
back.
it. But because she had the peace order on me, I couldn't personally go back and get it, and I couldn't call her or ask her or contact her in any form myself to
stop
try
it
to
the
get it
other
back
time.
once he returned himself.
Okay, ma'am, what do you say to this?
I had purchased the Xbox for my little grandson last Christmas. Then, a few days later, I come home from work. John says, Mom, I bought the kids an Xbox. I said, why? I just bought little John one for Christmas. That's all he wanted. And he said no, because 2 can play in the living room, which that's where it's set up. 2 can play in the back room. He said, but it's not brand new. And I said, it doesn't matter, but wait a minute, where'd it come from? I had no idea. You were doing good, but who knows? I been down that road. So he went back in the back room. He hooked it all up. The kids in the girls' room had a television. He put it up on the wall for them to hook the game player to it, so the 2 in the living room and the 2 in the back could all play together. I said, John, just make sure that TV is secure, doesn't fall. I'm scared to death. I'm crazy like that, scared it'll fall and hit him. He said, Mom, I got this. So they played and played for a while. John has to go back to jail again for violating getting high.
Let me ask you why you
That's a lie.
Ma'am, hold on. She wants that Xbox that John paid for his children?
Yes,
Is that
Your
what
Honor.
you're looking to get?
No,
Yes.
I have an Xbox that I purchased. I have the
All right, which Xbox? I didn't hear the 2. Now we have one that she purchased and gave to the grandson. Then she says now there was a second one that John purchased and gave to the children.
Correct.
So, is that true?
John did not purchase an Xbox. I purchased an Xbox, and I let Johnny borrow it until we got our place.
Why won't he give it back to you?
It's at her house. How can he get it if she won't let him in the house?
Because he's in jail. That's
he's not
why
in jail now.
You gave it to him. He put it in the house.
And set it up.
So you want it back. You can only get it back from John. What's your counterclaim for, man?
My landlord, I almost got thrown out because of the drama in the middle of the night.
What else?
Leaving work early, missing work, staying up, make sure she didn't damage my vehicle. She was threatening and all.
That's all lies.
I just want.
Now you can talk about threatening, but all the things you just described are the consequences of having a child who is addicted to heroin.
I know, Your Honor.
So I can't grant you a judgment for that.
Okay.
But if she was threatening you, then yes, that is harassment. So tell me about that.
She broke the peace order, sending texts to my grandchildren.
Who put the peace order out?
I did.
Okay, you have it today?
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right, that's indicative, ma'am, of harassment.
They've gone.
If the judge
Yes.
agreed to give a restraining order, that's indicative that that judge believed you were harassing her. What else?
Then she sent messages. The judge told her to quit on my phone or through. My grandchildren were in therapy. My son was incarcerated time. She's sending messages through the TV. Your grandmother and your aunt's lying. Your daddy loves you. I'll see him today.
You have any evidence on that?
Here's messages.
Ma'am, what do you say to these things?
What I say is
It doesn't stop.
the violation of the peace order we went to court for, and it was dismissed.
No, not the first one.
The first one was dismissed. The
No,
second
it
one
was
dismissed.
for 6 months.
Why did they issue one in the first place?
I didn't violate it. Her son.
Whether you violated it or not, they only issue it if they believe you are a threat to a person. That's the only way the judge will put his stamp and or signature. He has to be convinced. And he put his stamp and signature on here. So since he believed that, and now I'm looking at communications you made through third parties about her, I'm going to conclude that you did harass her. But I'm going to grant you your 1,000. Secondly, ma'am, please just do the best you can in coping with what you're working with. Perhaps there's some support groups out there. There's a lot of things now that they're helping drug addicts or opioid addicts with. Good luck to you. $1,000 for the counterclaimant. Yours is dismissed.
Thank you. Love thy neighbor. You're always trying to someone.
And nobody's ever harassed anybody. This woman has made our life living hell. Me and her son and her grandchildren. Who sits there and treats their grandchildren and their child the way that she does? She is a nut job who needs serious help. Seriously.